Yes.
So I'm going to tell you a series of Gen Z words or phrases, and you're going to guess what you think they mean or what they actually mean.
Oh, goodness, I'm in trouble. Okay.
So how do you think you're going to perform?
Terribly.
Yeah, okay.
Terribly.
They're easy. By the time I'm a millennial, by the time
20 years of Navio. So when I was cool was 20 years ago. First time meeting Steve Jean after he's there in the silver tracksuit on his first show. It's like, yo, like, so yeah, I've definitely geeked out. 95% water. It's all just fibrous stuff. The steaming burns out half the vitamins in it.
Yeah.
And I may no longer be considered the Uganda for saying that live on national television.
So joining me today on the podcast, I'm so excited to be introducing my next guest. First of all, I've been a fan for the longest time. He was part of a group, Clear Cut, the OGs of hip hop in Uganda, and then went on to have a very thriving solo career. I wanted to use this to describe him. Incredibly successful, enormously talented. Navio is in the building.
I started looking for you to talk about. I was like, oh my gosh.
It is you. It is you.
It is I?
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome to the podcast.
Appreciate that.
I'm so excited to be having you here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here finally.
Yeah.
We've been trying to put our schedules together, so I'm glad I'm here.
I'm glad you're here. Yes. And before I even go any further, I want to first give a massive shout out to the patio who are taking very good care of us, the patio Bella at Arena Mall.
Love them.
Okay, so Navio.
Yes.
Navio X. I've been seeing Navio X everywhere.
Yes.
There's this as well. And I want us to first of all talk about that.
Yes.
Tell us about the Navio X Project.
Navio X Project, I think, I felt a responsibility more than anything else.
Yeah.
I've done 9 albums before this, a bunch with Clear Cut, a bunch of solo albums. And I felt that it's something that I was supposed to do. But when I released Tumononya, we were supposed to do the project. But I think we had come on such a slew of hits. We had just come off the Burna Boy collab and the tour. We had just come off in Jogereza itself, so we were supposed to do that project then, but it was really just too hectic, to find time to actually be like in Uganda, settled in a place where we could concentrate and decide where we're going to go and do the project. So it kind of developed, first of all, into a TV show, because we're not going to go out there and not document what we're doing. But we thought, why don't we approach it from, not necessarily domestic tourism, but just have cameras following us as we go there. So COVID, in all its terribleness, I think provided that opportunity for us to be like, all right, we don't have a show in Nigeria, we don't have a show in the UK, there's no appearances, here and there. So let's go and start. So I think that's why for the first few episodes we have the masks on and stuff, because we were still in COVID, right?
Oh, okay.
It was still lockdown. So yeah, we went around and shot like maybe 4 or 5 episodes. And at the end of every episode, I sit down with, whether it's elders in the village, whether it's a house choir, at the primary school, whether it's some elders, if it's Karamajong warriors. At the end of every episode, we sit down, we do some music that's unique to that place. It could be a folk song. We didn't really want to guide it because I'm very freestyle. And I ended up freestyling the whole album, actually.
Yeah.
Which was, Baro was like, he had never seen that before.
Yeah. You know what? I used to think that was an urban legend.
Yeah,
that some people just get in the booth and just freestyle.
Yeah, I've only done it on one other album. And that was recording with Just Jose and Benon for African Hustler Music. So that's the only time when I've attempted that, and it can be very tedious. But I think, the subject matter was light and but whatnot. But when you're really trying to rap,
I'm gonna circle back to a question I have about that. But let's first talk about the Navio X Project.
Yes.
So before I interrupted you, you were talking about it, and I think you mentioned that you were going to visit 10.
Yes, so the
tribes.
Original concept for the X, so X is 10 in Roman numerals.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be 10 episodes, 10 tribes, 10 songs, and then we're supposed to put it out.
Okay.
And that's what it was supposed to be. Midway, I bump into Kin Carissa, and he's like, "What are you up to?" I'm like, "Oh man, I was just with the Karamajong Warriors. It was crazy." So I show him a little clip. He's like, "Be in my office on Monday." So I'm like, Kin, hey. Jump into the office. He has the whole team there, and I play about maybe 3-4 minutes of it.
Yeah.
And he heard it, and he was like, "Yo, you have a spot on TV if you want it. Thursdays, 8 p.m.
Awesome.
All yours." So,
Shout out to Kin for making that happen.
Whoop, whoop. Big
Yes.
up Kin Carissa, man, my guy.
So the question I was going to ask,
Yes.
it's about the freestyling.
Uh-huh.
How do you remember, like when you freestyle in the booth, how do you remember what you said when you're performing?
My freestyle style
Yeah.
is so different from my written style. There are a lot of people who their style when they rap is very similar to how their written style is, like an Eminem or a Jay. For me, my freestyle is very different from how it is when I write. So even when it comes to memorize it, it's really difficult.
Yeah.
Because that's not how my brain works for performances. But, I think it's all a challenge at the end of the day. And sometimes it's fun coming up with stuff on the fly. Baru was like, we on the clock. You sure you don't want to just...
Yeah.
But I think it really helped, some of the tracks that we did, like the Sebe track and the one for the Bagisu as well, Lidembe. It just gives you that old school thing. I feel like I'm back in South Africa, underground club.
Yeah.
It gave me that vibe, all of the drummers around and stuff. It definitely made me feel more creative. So it was an easy thing.
Yeah.
Volume 2, I'm writing.
Okay.
But volume 1, we had to rush. Yeah.
Okay. That's actually really dope. You visited 10 tribes.
Yes.
And I have to say that's not something that many Ugandans can say, like we just probably know ourselves and maybe, the central and maybe the east.
Yeah.
What was the most fascinating cultural experience for you on the Navio X Project?
Wow. Tricky to say. I think Karamoja was, of course, a big one because I don't think I've danced or been made to dance for 4 hours. Straight.
I want to see you dance. Like I've seen the clips. I want to see you in the groove. Is that episode out yet?
It is. It is out. Episode 3.
Yeah.
And my golly gosh, sure was a lot of jumping around and just frolicking.
Yeah.
Out there in the, they just move the cows, and that's the same place where we play games, and jumping and whatnot.
Yeah.
And you see it when the video comes out, but. There's this one thing at the end where they bring a woman and they make a circle and I'm supposed to catch the woman.
Ooh.
So now they brought the fastest woman in the giraffe clan. Yo, like 10 minutes I could not catch this bride of mine. She just let me catch her in the end. She's like, take me to Kampala.
Yeah, she was just like, enough.
Yeah, let's roll.
Who is playing? Where are we playing this long
the
game?
The men, like they had to think twice. They're like, are we going to give him a name? I don't know. He couldn't even catch a woman. How's this? Hunter.
Speaking of name, Navio, I know your real name.
Yes.
Where did Navio come from?
Navio is actually originally a basketball name. So I know I don't look like it. But MVP 3 years in a row, dunk contest winner 3 years in a row. I was pretty heavy into that circle.
Yeah.
So when I was here, I took a gap year between O and A level. And while I was here, I used to play for, back in those days, it was Sadolin Power. Nowadays, it's DMAC Power. They are trained there. The kids are like, wow. Those days, we are Sadolin Power. And, I used to train with those guys, ETC, before going back to SA. And there was exchange students, like Congolese kids who came, like exchange students, and they spoke French. So I had, like, a mean vertical. Like maybe 40-inch vertical when I was younger. And anytime I'd get the ball, they'll start chanting avion, 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 which is like flight or a plane or something like that.
Oh,
so they kept chanting that. Every time I grabbed the ball, they wanted me to do some acrobatics, craziness in basketball. So they say avion, avion. So now the Congolese kids left. The Uganda kids who were there as well, who are the other 500 people who'll be watching the games, would also, when I get the ball, they'd be like, Avio, Avio, Navio, 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 Navio,
Oh,
Navio,
and it
Navio.
just became Navio.
So it became Navio.
Okay.
So it kind of stuck as like a funny, people make fun of me. Hey, Navio, Navio.
Have you told this story before? Because this is the first time I'm hearing it.
So now we go to DV8. Pull up a DV8. We're doing a talent show there.
Yeah.
For the first time ever. Clear cut. I think by this time we're called the Zulu Squad. 30 of us. So now Mitch Egwang, he's hosting the battles. I think they used to pay him 18,000 shillings for the whole night.
Mm-hmm.
He runs over. He's like, "Hi, nice. I'm going to introduce you guys. Yeah, what do you call yourselves? Zulu Squad. Yeah, what are your names? The Myth, Langman, Papito, JB, and you?" I'm like, "Danny." He's like, "Nah."
That's not gonna work.
Nope. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Lubuama. He's like,
Even worse.
I'm like, damn, just call me Navio.
Yeah.
Get on stage, we kill it.
Yeah.
There happen to be like 3 or 4 reporters. They write about this new group. Oh my goodness. These rappers just absolutely shredded the stage by the names of The Myth, Navio. So now it's in the press.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
You had to commit.
Let's roll with it.
And how many years later, here we are.
yes.
When I was younger, around, should I say 9 years old, I was watching UTV at the time.
2 years ago.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get it. So I was watching UTV and these cool kids come on and they were interviewing them and I was like, oh my God, who are these kids? And then you spoke and I was like, they have accents? Who are these fascinating people? And then later I find out it's Clear Cut.
Boom.
And I've been a fan ever since. Like, I was like, oh my God, these guys are so cool. So you've been
Appreciate
doing music for the longest time.
Yes.
Who is your musical inspiration?
Wow. I'd say the guys who I looked at and I was like, this can be done here. It's got to be, the D&D slams, the DJ Berry, SST, Kawesa. What was Isaac Jazin Matovu, Sema Timba, Steve Jean, Hope. I feel like it was a bunch of local artists and Limit X. Stop it. I used to be in front of the line for to watch them when they'd be at Sheraton Ballroom. I'd never seen anything like it. So I think that was I wouldn't have even thought of it as an option if I couldn't have access to those guys. I was like, the Michael Jacksons are cool, but people who are in my sphere, I think were really the most. It was the biggest deal to me.
Yeah.
Seeing a cassette tape of these guys, distributed by Kasiwukira. I'm like, what? This is us guys distributing our own music in Uganda. That is, I think, what opened up the door for me. And then, of course, hip-hop in general.
Yeah.
I think that's just from stealing CDs from my brother.
Yeah.
That's straight up Naughty by Nature, Poverty's Paradise,
Yeah.
Fushnikins. My sister with the pure swing stuff. My dad with the old school. That's that Nawuriranga and Jogadeza vibe I get. And my mom with that top 40. I think all of that can influence me, I think. So family and, Ugandan acts, the early guys who give their time, had and the time, perfect generation, prim and proper, stop it. The list was endless.
It's so nice that you should say that because I believe it's a full circle situation for you now because that's exactly what you're doing for the younger generation, the people who are joining the industry.
Don't do it. No.
Yeah, don't do it. Last year, you had probably one of the biggest concerts by a local artist, 20 years of Navio.
Bro.
And sold out, one of many sold out concerts that you've had.
My dear.
How was that?
We didn't know how it was going to go.
Yeah.
Of course, on one side, you had 8 other shows happening at the same time. There was a rapper across town. There was a dance festival. There's an Indian dance festival. There was a Nubian festival.
Wow.
There's rugby in Jinja, rugby in Kasese. There was just a bunch of things happening at the same time. And so it was kind of like, also this other rapper who will remain unnamed, he had put it out that if I move my date, he immediately gets the crown. And if I if I don't succeed or I don't get people, which I won't, he immediately gets the crown, and he's been telling people I'm not worth it.
But how does that even work? Like your failure is his success? Okay.
Basically.
Okay.
Some people are wired like that.
Then he's going to be waiting a long time because it was indeed a success.
I mean, it's 8,000 people.
Yeah.
It was definitely a success. That VIP, I've never seen a VIP jump like that. Like that was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And congratulations on that. That was definitely a milestone.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You've kind of ushered us into
Hey.
the beef
Raymond.
situation.
Hey, beef.
East Coast, West
you're
Coast type
hungry?
of situation.
We're at the patio after all.
I should order for some.
The best beef you can imagine. You want beef? Eh?
Have you had, we've heard rumors of people who have had beef with you. I was going to ask you, have you had beef? But then I never see you kind of engaging. What are your thoughts on that?
I think for some people that's the whole hustle.
Yeah.
They have that thing that you mentioned, where people say, oh, if you're in jail for the first time, you go up to the biggest guy in jail and you knock him out. And then guys know that you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
They read they see these movie scripts. So of course they see me at the top, whatever that means. And they're like, yeah, if I go and I start stuff with him, I can maybe build a name and build a reputation off that, catch some steam. And that would work, except that we also built the jail. You understand? So the foundation of what he's trying to hate on, me going to a show with 10,000 people, is what I've been doing. I've done like 4,000 shows.
Yeah.
And every show I go to, all I'm trying to do is pull 10 people towards hip-hop, 10 people. And I've been doing that for 20 years straight.
Yeah.
So you have hip-hop fans who know me, trust me, understand me, rather get access to those people. Because if you're going to now discredit me, then they're definitely going to know that you're not serious.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like if a fan has given me, if they've given me like 59 awards, for example, they've given me these 59 awards. Someone has voted for me, and then you go and say, yeah, this guy's not worth it, he's whack. That also discredits you.
Yeah.
So what I find is like, yeah, you get a bit of steam. The media will be like, oh, cool. Hey, what did you say about Navio? Wow, so daring.
Yeah.
Salute. You got some cojones on you. But the fans themselves are like,
nah, that guy's just a hater.
yeah, that Burna Boy song is kind of hot.
Yeah.
Or one and only,
Yeah.
#1 in Africa for 6 months. What did you do?
Yeah.
And then they have to look at what you've done.
Exactly.
So if you haven't even sold
Or
out
the absence of it. Yeah.
If you haven't sold a club show, if you haven't been on a tour in Africa, and some of these people haven't been booked in Kenya,
Yeah.
let alone the UK,
Yeah.
let alone I've done like almost 40 countries. So I think it also discredits you at some point. You need to just stand on your own 2 feet.
Yeah.
Say, I'm a man or a woman, and I'm going to stand on my own 2 feet, and I'm going to push. And if there's something I don't understand, why hate on an avenue that someone has paved?
Yeah.
I'll go and ask, yo, how do I do that? I got
Yeah.
a beautiful call from Isabel the other day. Amazing artist. And she was like, yo, I want to know ABCD. Very point blank, what I mean? And I love that. And so we engaged in a conversation, talked about some strategies, and that's it. Like, you wouldn't be, instead she could stew there and be like, how did he do this?
Yeah.
How did he get the deal with that beverage?
Yes.
How did he, and then it just makes you stew in your own what ifs.
Yeah.
Don't ask, be like, how did you get it? How
Yeah.
can I get it? Who's next on the campaign? Can I get there? Is there avenue?
Yeah.
Who's the distributor? Who's the overall bosses?
Yeah.
Ask questions that are going to help your future. But a lot of people would just rather turn inward, and they end up imploding.
Yeah, and they end up beefing with themselves, which is sad.
Yeah.
But what's something that people don't know about you?
Wow. I was definitely a sports guy.
Yeah.
Before I got into the music. My dad had us, age of like 4 or 5 already. The taekwondos, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai. My sister's a black belt in like 4 disciplines herself. My brother's an amazing boxer. All my uncles are the same. I think we're big on like sports, but people know that about that. Maybe with like motocross, and people know that my mother was tennis champion in UG, played for the World Games representing us, table tennis, squash.
Yeah.
My brother as well was a champ. My sister as well was a national champion. So sports is our thing.
It's your thing, yeah.
But people know me for the music. Maybe that's one thing that people don't realize. Yeah.
Do you think like maybe if it hadn't been music, it would have been definitely something athletic?
I don't know. I mean, I was playing too many sports, so
Yeah.
I got injured quite early, which is the story in most cases.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have given it up. I think.
Yeah.
You know, to see my name is on the wall at my high school. You know what I mean?
You've collaborated with some really big names.
Yes.
Is there anybody you haven't had the chance to collaborate with, but you want to?
Let's go straight to the top.
Yeah.
Jay-Z.
Okay.
That we could do that
Yeah.
any day. I think me and Sako DA need something fresh. We've worked back in the day already. We need something fresh. Me and Wiz need something fresh. There's my guy. I'm really good friends with his team in the UK. How can I be homophobic?
Central C?
Central, Cinch. That's why I was
Yeah.
confused. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cinch would be dope. And then there's a bunch of people here as well. I got Lagoom out the way.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I need collaborations with Isabel, as I said.
Yeah.
Lucas Black.
Yeah.
Me and Tucker need to get in. Man, there's a bunch of guys from here. Wouldn't mind the Lydia collab. Tie Dye, stop it. Yeah, Damsey. There's a list.
Yeah,
I
there's a
don't know
list.
when I'll ever get to it, but yeah, there's a long list of people I want to work with. Yeah.
Yeah. What has been your biggest accomplishment in life so far?
Kids.
Yeah.
My kids, definitely. We had time to reintroduce beef, but you talk about recently someone was like, yeah, that one doesn't take care of his own kids, you know, and it was literally at the same time the person was writing that in a public forum.
Yeah.
I was literally getting my kids ready for school,
Yeah.
you know, because my wife goes to work, so I was literally the one getting them ready, bathing them, and, you know, brushing their teeth and cooking them breakfast and dropping them off at school. And it made me realize that people's words, there's some things you don't have to defend.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, that makes it my biggest accomplishment. I think. Yeah.
Okay.
It's something that I don't even need to talk about. You know, my at my birthday, like my kids were literally in tears, you know, just trying to say a speech for daddy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like this person was disrespecting me, and I couldn't even engage. I couldn't even begin to engage because I gotta get my. You know what I mean? I'm literally brushing the kids' teeth.
I'm literally.
So, yeah, it was weird. I'm just saying it because it was like a perspective moment.
Yeah.
And it made me realize that I think that is literally my biggest accomplishment, you know, to be able to pull everything to the side and just be about them.
In a world where you have $1 million US and you want to blow it, and they tell you you have to blow it in one day,
Yeah.
what are you doing with 1
Real
million?
estate. Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
$1 million?
Yeah.
Stop it. What do I do?
Yeah, like first of all, real estate, yes.
Okay.
But you still have
Okay.
you're gonna still have a balance. What are you doing with
Hold on.
that unlimited
the million,
money?
like you just said, I'm sorry, and now you got me on it. That is going direct to school fees. First, school fees. What's the most expensive school in the world?
Yeah.
What's the fees? In case they want to go there, we just gonna put that aside.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna put that aside. Boom, school fees, and then yeah, man. Let's I don't know. Let's go.
Oh
to
my God,
Dubai.
you're really thinking like a parent, right? School
Yeah,
fees
that's
has
it,
to be
man.
out of the way, and then you know,
then,
real
yeah.
estate probably also for the kids, and then
Yeah.
let's talk about the fun part. What are you doing?
Holiday
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah.
Like I want my whole team there, the whole squad, my family, guys I haven't seen for a while.
Yeah.
I got you. I got your ticket. Just fly in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you know.
Where would your holiday destination be?
I mean, it has to be one of those Bahama type.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
The Bahama type places. Place where we can do stuff, but also it's close enough so we can fly to like Miami. You know, hit Disney World or something. I don't know what these white kids do. But no, it's Yeah, definitely. Like, get the team together.
Yeah.
You know, get the whole squad together because my people are all over the world now. So
Yeah.
if I
Okay,
can get the
that's
team
sweet.
together,
Like you really even thought about everybody, all the people around you, your
Yeah.
family, your friends. For me, I'm thinking about myself. I'm like, what am I doing?
Gucci stove,
Exactly.
Versace
You
stove,
get it. Lambo.
What for you stove, and Lambo. That's 350K gone.
Yeah,
My
but you
dear.
know, I have 24 hours to finish this
we're going
money.
to talk. We're going to talk business after. Okay.
Okay, let's talk business.
350K on a car.
All right, back to the music.
Yes.
You've had some of the biggest bangers. Rakas, I remember Rakas back in the day. Ngalo, oh baby, you're my one and
Oh.
only. Which has been your biggest song in your opinion? Throughout all of that.
I mean, it's hard to compete with One and Only, just because of the local appeal, top to bottom. It's hard to compete with Ngalo, because can perform that right now in
Yeah.
Thailand, and it's going to be popping. It's very hard to compete with Nawuliranga, because Nawuliranga, they talk about in Jogadeza, for example. I was like, oh, that's your biggest song. I'm like, when Nawuliranga dropped, people had never even sonically heard those two worlds come together, those three worlds come together.
Yeah.
Hip hop with the old school 1950s sample, with that, I think he put in like a reggaeton, hip hop kick. I mean, it was a blend that Ethan, people hadn't heard it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think Nawuliranga was
The biggest. Huh?
it was pretty much the biggest in terms of like local and international acclaim. But One and Only was.
Do you think you're ever going to beat it in terms of
I don't see
moving forward?
getting another number one
Yeah.
in Nigeria for any artist in Uganda.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening again
Yeah.
soon. I hope it does.
Yeah.
I believe that this generation of artists who have come out in UG actually have the power to do that. But we're gonna have to take everyone along for the ride. I think I see a lot of artists concentrate on just uptown or just downtown, but people's ears, you wouldn't believe like the synergy. I mean, I go to both because they are hip hop fans downtown,
Yeah.
and they are, and uptown they are fans of local flavor. So I think we need to just start treating it as one ecosystem of music. That's what I do, and it's benefited me
Yeah.
a lot. So,
yeah. Did you know, like when you were making that song, did you know it was going to blow up as much as it did?
One and Only?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
Oh.
Jogereza. You said
Jogereza?
Jogereza or Nawuliranga?
Yeah, Nawuliranga.
Yes, Nawuliranga.
Nawuliranga, we knew what it was. We knew what it was.
You knew
gonna be.
it had potential. huh?
Yeah. By the time, with those ones, we knew what it was going to do. Even One and Only, we made it for that. We're like, what sound can we do that's African but a bit more uniquely us?
Yeah.
So that's what came out, and Richie Kawesa and Martha Smalls jumped on it. Made the chorus just brought that to life. Ethan was on the beat for that. Just amazing. And Nawuliranga, he produced that too. So.
Yeah. What's your go-to genre to listen to when you're at the gym?
Oh, hip hop.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Is there any particular artist on your playlist?
I think African and UK hip hop right now.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of almost becoming the same thing, really. That puts me in the zone. SA hip hop. So I wouldn't say even like American hip hop for gym. For me, it's that like SA stuff, SA, UG.
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, that just puts
you in your zone.
Yeah, it makes it real to me. Gives me that motivation. I've been known to throw on a little Afro beat once in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you stretching, you know what I mean. But for the most part, hip hop. When you're throwing punches and you're looking at this dust in Kampala, you want to hear words about Kampala, so you listen to Mr. Soyuji.
Yeah.
You listen to Taka HD. This is people of the soil.
Okay.
From here. Yeah.
Right. What's your most memorable fan encounter?
Oh, I got tackled last week.
What?
Tackled last week. Oh my God.
What do you mean?
And then I was outside a well-known newspaper. I don't know what I can say.
Yeah.
I was outside a well-known newspaper, and they had 4 buses come to visit of kids, and these kids poured out onto the road, like 400 kids, and just ran at us and circled us up and whatnot, and the whole time the police guy's looking at you and he's like, look what you're doing. You're causing a problem. You're causing the traffic. Navio, look where, yeah.
So what were you supposed to do?
I'm like, officer,
Yeah.
move these kids out of the way so I can get out of here. Instead,
Yeah.
he wants to arrest me.
What do you
You know what I mean? I'm like, help! This is a public disturbance. I'm also a victim. You know, but yeah, craziest fan encounters.
Yeah.
When I just started dating my woman who's my wife now.
Yes.
She has a name. Yes. So when I just started dating her, a girl camped outside. Yeah, outside up the house. So it's, I was in Labor, then it's my apartment up there, penthouse. Whoop. But she camped outside near a tree, and I was like,
She camped outside.
why is there an Askari? Who's this guy doing training in the field in Labor? Actually, you've been there. You can see that there's a big old tree in front of the apartments. So yeah, this person just camped
What was
out
her
there.
long-term plan? Is what I'm wondering.
I don't know, but that's when I stopped going super live, because I used to be a very even a bit more Snapchat, and I used to know up to date like where I'm at, and I think I kind of now delayed it by like an hour or two
Yeah.
when I let people know where I am.
Yeah.
Because of that, because this
Yeah.
girl was everywhere I saw her, and then it's only like 2 days later, I saw her jumping into the tent. I'm like, oh my god, I've been seeing this girl everywhere, everywhere I'm at. She's, so yeah, I don't know what her next move was,
That's actually
but
funny.
we left that to the police. We leave that.
So you had to call the police.
Yeah, oh,
And then what did they do? They arrested her?
I know. I'm sure they just said.
Like,
This is not a-
respect yourself, maybe. Do you ever get nervous before a show? Like a concert?
Yeah, every time.
Yeah.
Every time, especially when the numbers are less. Yeah, so if me, when my jaja says, Navio, give us a tune, and it's 20 family members, oh, you're at a dining table, I'm paralyzed, I want the stage, I want the big stage, I want 100,000 people out there.
Yeah.
I want the energy. That is what wakes up the other guy.
And how'd you give yourself like the pep talk of like, okay, yeah, like I have nerves, but I have to do what I have to do.
I've heard of this thing where people are like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
let me get you a drink. I'm like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Even in studio, right?
Yeah.
And I have a bunch of people. Then my homies, some homies are like, yeah, let's catch a vibe. Let's get a little lit, and then we'll do our song. I'm like, that's cool, but I didn't learn how to rap like that. I was in underground clubs in SA where you had to be sober. The more sober you are, the better,
Yeah.
because it's the most dangerous place on earth.
Yeah.
One. Two, I was actually trying to win the battle.
Yeah.
I wasn't just trying to feel good about winning the battle.
Yeah.
I wanna win. I wanna break someone down. I'm thinking about what the guy is saying to me so I can come back, right? So my style was born out of being aware. So I don't need to drink before stage. I don't want to drink usually until I'm done performing. But for a lot of people, they
That's
like
their
to get in
go-to.
their zone. Yeah, that's their go-to. For me, I'm like, how many people? It's the challenge. So I think it's maybe that thing of
Yeah.
for my dad.
Yeah.
As, he raised us as fighters. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm like, you want to go? Let's go right here. Face to face. Like I don't do. It's a no long talk thing, and I think that's moved to my music as well. I just want to get on stage. Let's go. First song, DJs. Song 4, song 9, and song 12 on the compact disc. That's how we used to do it. You know what I mean? And I get on and because also my brand is not a high side of me. It's not a me when I'm drinking. And I think that's the good thing about longevity. It's like artists will stop drinking or stop being in a club or stop partying, and their music now becomes irrelevant because they can't get from the same source.
Yeah.
When you make yourself the source, then you don't need to go to a bottle or use substances to make you level out. You know what I mean? You train your mind and you train yourself to be able to use your talents when you need to. Whether it's physical, whether it's basketball, whether it's rapping. Just train your mind to do it so you can do it in your sleep.
I think liquid courage is kind of like a myth because
Yeah.
because
It's good for romance. I hear. Some
you know,
things,
yeah,
but
like it
who
has
am
its
I?
it has its strengths, but I feel like liquid courage only makes you not care so much,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make you perform better. You
True.
get like it makes you care less,
Uh-huh.
but not that you're gonna give your best. I've seen you at like award shows and
Yeah.
events that are star-studded and stuff like that. Do you ever get starstruck?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, who
Absolutely.
were you? Who was the first person that you were like fanning out for? Like, yay!
I mean, and I think it was maybe on behalf of like, I mean, remember one Wyclef, you know, Ready or Not,
Yeah,
Here
I know,
Come,
Wyclef
like the
Jean.
Fugees album. What did they sell? Like 10 million records? Like, so meeting Wyclef, one. And then we have a cipher. So we do a cipher back and forth. And, you know, we go for that TV show that we went for. So we're performing a song that he did with Avicii for the finale. Unbelievable, you know, because this guy, you know, I mean, he rolls with Lauryn Hill, who is like in my top 5 MCs maybe of all time.
Yeah,
You know, he produced like classic albums and #1 hits. He sold 1 billion records. You know, the stuff he's produced for Shakira and the World Cup. So to hear him say Navio can probably make it anywhere. Navio's dope. You know, I mean, he had such kind things to say
Yeah.
about me on TV
wow.
that he didn't have to say. You
Yeah.
know, so for him to, and it's out on YouTube, you know, where he's just like, yo, this guy can make it anywhere. You know, he's been like switching up the flows. He's been doing it way before, you know, other artists in the world. It was amazing to see that because a lot of the credit that I get around the continent is for the fact that I'm rapping in English, which is already the most rapped in language in the world.
Yes.
You know, there are a lot of guys who will take like an English concept and break it into Luganda, Swahili.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I gotta compete directly with Jay-Z. I gotta compete with Eminem. I gotta, you know, with words that have been used before. How do I make myself unique? And so, to see someone who's been around all those guys, got as much money, acclaim, and more awards than a lot of the guys I praise, that was a beautiful thing. So, seeing Clef, amazing. Collaborating with Keith Sweat, crazy.
Yeah.
Even just from a writer standpoint, you know, me and Burna Boy we're dying to meet each other. By the
Yeah.
time Burna came through, he's like, yo, this guy, you know, he's like, salute. I was
Yeah.
like, what would you talk about? You too, man, salute.
Yeah.
Because I hear what he does with the words, right?
Yes,
And he hears what I
yes,
do with the words.
yeah.
Yeah, amazing writer. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys. Yeah.
Okay, that's dope.
Afrigo, stop it. First time I met
Yeah.
Afrigo.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness. First time meeting Steve Jean after he's there in the silver tracksuit on his first show. It's like, yo, like, so yeah, I've definitely geeked out a few
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. What's your most embarrassing on stage moment?
Nachivubo, it was raining, ran on stage. I am this body man from I saw both my feet in the and then I saw the stage, I saw the crowd, then I saw the sky, and I was still seeing my feet. Bam!
Yeah.
And then I just lay there for a few minutes. I was like, in my mind, I was like, maybe no one saw.
Yeah. on
But
stage.
Unfortunately 70,000 Baganda
Yeah.
witnessed that. Pre-smartphone days. Thank
Yeah.
goodness. That was
Thank
bad.
goodness.
Yeah, that
Because he
was
would
bad.
have done his rounds right now.
Yeah. There's another one where I was performing with Peter Miles and Menshan.
Yeah.
Those guys used to literally break stages. And we're performing, and Peter Miles is there kicking his legs, him and Menshan on either side of me. And then Peter Miles enters the stage. And then his leg is stuck. The kaboot is stuck up, and his leg is touching down, and he's already like 6 foot tall. So like then we're putting him with his kaboot, but we're stretching his hamstring. It was bad. So that was lit.
That was on stage.
Yeah.
This was all happening on stage.
1 time, 2 time, hey Uganda, whoop, inside the stage.
No, I think the funniest part is the visual of you trying to like get him out.
By his leg, his shoe, like a shoe was stuck on wood or something.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, really great shoe, good quality shoes.
Yeah.
There's been so many.
There's been so many.
So many.
But those are some really good ones
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
What's a food that you think is trash but just has good PR?
Listen, as a Muganda, I don't want to get in trouble
Yeah.
with the lordship
But say it with your
of
chest
the
though.
kingdom. But I'm gonna have to say, now that I've grown up, knowing that my matoke is 95% water, has no minerals, no vitamins, but I love it so much.
Yeah.
That is a food that has great PR because we keep wondering why these fellows on their millet are so tall in other parts of Uganda, because it's got protein in it. You know what I mean? But my Baganda, we're here humbly, we're very fast, but we're close to the ground. That's what makes us good warriors.
But you clearly
that
skipped that.
might be, we need to maybe check and see if we can sprinkle something inside it, just to give it some proteins.
Yeah.
I didn't know this whole time. 95% water. It's all just fibrous stuff. The steaming burns out half the vitamins in it.
Yeah.
And I may no longer be considered the Muganda for saying that live on national television.
You think, that makes sense?
Yeah.
And we applaud your bravery, because I don't know how your fellow tribesmen are going to take that.
Yeah.
But I kind of see where you're coming from. I feel like any unproblematic meal, though, I'll let slide.
Yeah.
But I think mine for me would be like lobster.
Lobster?
Yeah. When I was growing up, I used to watch, lobster was presented as this, when you've made it in life, this is what you will eat.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, one day I'm going to eat lobster.
Uh-huh.
It was actually a goal of mine.
Yes.
And then I ate it one day. I went to Zanzibar.
Yes.
And I ordered for it.
Yes.
I was like, no. So what else have they lied about? What else?
Yes.
Maybe wealth is not all that it's cracked up to
know,
be. Yeah.
Well, actually, it's pretty good. No. Talking from experience. Nah,
Yeah.
Kidding.
No, you're not.
But the lobster,
Yeah.
it's the constant, you have to break the shell. Breaking the shell. And
Yeah.
I want to get to the food.
Yeah.
That's
But you
it.
like it though.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right.
Yeah.
Crab better for me, and prawns and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a big eater, as you can see. But yeah, the lobster thing, when they bring it with the shell on, that's ridiculous. Because you spend half the meal, you cut your hands just trying to get some protein. Nope.
What's the best place you've been? Because you've been around the world,
Yeah.
different places, performed in different places. What's the best place you've been?
After Uganda, I would say Bali
Bali.
was surprisingly beautiful, because everywhere I go to, like, I taste their pineapple, and I'm like, "Ugh, I taste their banana, oh,
Yeah.
I taste their supu, I'm like, oh, please take it back. Bali was the first place where I'm like, these guys have like African fruits, and then where they stay as well, it's like a mixture of Butaleja and Bunyonyi, but it's like 14,000 islands.
Yeah.
So you're on the ocean as well. You get the Zanzibar feel, but then you're in Asia. Morally, the people there, you like smoking and drinking is like to the side. It's not like the main thing on a weekend. It's all yeah. It was a beautiful place, man. Beautiful place, nice food,
Yeah.
and great culture. So Bali is definitely up there for me.
It's definitely a dream destination for me.
Please,
Yeah.
do it now.
I have to do it. I have to
Now.
do it. Now that you've said, I have to do it.
Yes.
So I wanna introduce a new segment on the show.
Uh-oh.
I want you to know that I'm blindsiding Navio.
Why am I always a guinea pig?
You're not a guinea
This
pig.
I'm like Uganda's guinea pig. I feel like the Joe Quiz of Uganda. They're always blindsiding him. Come and talk to Wizkid. Come and talk to Burna Boy.
By the way, that was so accurate. That is so accurate. That's joke is his life.
Man, poor guy.
But so I want to know, you have Gen Z friends. You talked about Isabel. I'm pretty sure Isabel
One or
is
two,
Gen Z.
uh-huh.
Yeah. And you've heard how they speak.
Yes.
So I'm going to tell you a series of Gen Z words or
Okay.
phrases, and you're going to guess what you think they mean or what they actually mean.
Oh goodness, I'm in trouble. Okay.
So how do you think you're going to perform?
Terribly.
Yeah, okay.
Terribly.
They're easy. By the time I'm a millennial, by the time
20 years of Navio. So when I was cool was 20 years ago. But proceed.
No, but to be fair, I'm also a millennial, so
Uh-huh.
these are going to be easy. What do these Gen Z phrases mean cap,
Lying.
drip,
Looking dope.
ghost.
To exclude.
Yeah. Bussin'.
That's got a few meanings. But nowadays it was woohoo, having a relations of intimate nature. But bussing, I don't know.
It's definitely not that.
Okay. Sorry,
Like it's dope, like it's good. It's so good. Like this soda water is bussin'.
Hey, nice.
Sus.
Oh, well, someone gives a bit sass, like attitude.
No.
Oh.
Sus like
Oh, suspect.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
suspect.
yeah.
Got you. Got you.
You got
You
it.
invented these words. You shortened them.
Yeah. Flex.
Like just flex on them, swag on them. You know what I mean?
Riz.
Riz. Lying.
Huh?
No. You riz someone, you fleece them.
No.
You tease them.
No.
Riz. I've heard it though. I've heard it. Okay,
Just say
next one.
pass.
Pass. Dumb you.
No, that was the last one. But Riz basically is
What is Magdalene you're telling me?
Swagger.
Is
like,
it?
Yeah, like charisma. Like
Is
this
it?
guy is.
Oh, Riz.
Yeah, this
Ah,
guy's
okay.
got the Riz. Okay, so that's about it. But before I let you
That
go,
was so hard. Oh my gosh, I'm sweating.
we're gonna play the one last game of Never Have I Ever.
Oh no.
If you have, you just say I have.
Okay.
If you've never, just say never.
Okay.
Okay. Never have I ever called in sick to a studio session or anything work related because I was hungover.
I have
Of
done
course.
that.
Of course. I feel like we all have. Never have I ever Googled myself.
I have Googled.
You have to know. You have to know what you look
what I
like.
do, yes.
What your Wikipedia picture looks like. Canary was here.
These things are.
Canary was here telling me how he doesn't like his Wikipedia picture. So you have to verify. Never have I ever gone skydiving.
I have never. Oh, sure.
Would you?
Yes.
But I saw in one and only the video you guys were doing some
Yes. yeah,
adrenaline.
I did like a gorge dive.
Yeah.
With like a pipe that holds you, and one holds you on the back. When they release that one, you can't help. You actually just get pulled off. It feels like God is just
Yeah.
guiding you off the cliff. So yeah, and that's like maybe 150 meters, 200 meters. It's like swinging through a building, but it's just forest and rocks. That was scary.
So if you can do that, you can definitely skydive.
I think so.
I think you can. Never have I ever stolen from my parents.
Never.
No. Oh no, it's just me.
Yeah.
Never have I ever been stoned on TV.
Never.
No. Eh?
Never.
Okay. Never have I ever had a rap beef.
so many, but they beef with me.
They're beefing with
Yeah,
you.
don't beef with them.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for this, Navio. This was such a fantastic conversation.
Good times, good
And we are following you on social media,
Yes,
Instagram,
at Navio Music.
Navio Music.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And
No
we've
doubt.
been at the Patio Bella. You've been watching It's Never That Serious, the podcast by Sabrina. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section. Also, remember to hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a video. Also, check out the Navio Project. Where can they find this?
Navio X Project is
Navio X
all
Project.
over online.
Yeah.
So yeah, any platform online is gonna be there.
Yeah.
Or if you like your YouTubes, we also put the audio up there. So yeah, man, feel free to go check it out. Navio X Project is out now. The song we're pushing is Tiabu Tiabu for
Yeah.
the Wasonga.
Love
so
it,
yeah, we're
love
gonna be
it.
pushing a bunch through the year.
Yeah.
And then we get to season 2.
Okay, so I can take this one.
Yeah,
This
of
is mine.
course.
Oh,
Navio
thank
X
you.
Project.
You're the best.
Whoop,
Yay.